I work at Dubai International Airport's Smart Gate section. An American family arrived last week with 3 suitcases and 15 minutes of confusion. The mother planted herself directly in front of the facial recognition scanner and waited. Nothing happened. She waved her hands dramatically at the camera like she was flagging down a taxi. Her husband pulled out his phone, filming the entire gate. "Is this thing even plugged in?" he asked me. I explained it only works for UAE residents, GCC nationals, and travelers with biometric passports who've registered. She stared at me. "But we're Americans. Everything's supposed to scan us automatically. Our faces are probably already in every database, from Facebook to Costco. We've got the best facial recognition technology in the world." I directed them to the regular immigration line. She looked genuinely betrayed. "Back home, Target knows I'm pregnant before I do. Here, a government airport can't recognize my face." My cousin manages a payment terminal company in Kuwait. Last month, an American businessman spent 20 minutes trying to hand cash to a vending machine at the Kuwait International Airport. The machine only accepted contactless cards and digital wallets. He kept smoothing out his dollar bills and holding them up to the screen. When my cousin explained the payment system, the man laughed. "You're telling me Kuwait has better payment tech than New York? That's rich. We invented digital payments. We've had Apple Pay since 2014. My cousin showed him the QR code for Kuwait's national instant payment system, which processed transactions in under 2 seconds across any bank. The man squinted at it. "I need to download an app. In America, cash is king. Always has been, always will be. The Middle East probably just got credit cards last year." My brother works in Bahrain's traffic management center. An American consultant visited last week to discuss transportation systems. He spent the first meeting explaining how Bahrain needed American-style highway expansions and parking structures. My brother pulled up the live feed from Bahrain's AI-powered traffic system, which predicted congestion 45 minutes in advance and automatically rerouted vehicles. The consultant watched the screen. "Where are all the cars?" My brother explained the system reduced traffic by 38%. The consultant shook his head. "That's a cute pilot program. In Houston, we've got real traffic. 8-lane highways, interchanges you can see from space. That's infrastructure." He pulled up photos on his phone. "You'll get there eventually. Rome wasn't built in a day. I'm a hotel concierge in Riyadh, and last Tuesday, an American woman checked in, holding her phone like a weapon. She'd been trying to book a rideshare for 20 minutes. "Your Uber doesn't work," she announced. "It keeps showing cars in Arabic or something." I glanced at her screen. She'd opened Careem, Saudi Arabia's largest ride-hailing app, which had been operating since 2012 and was acquired by Uber in 2020. She'd downloaded Uber's American app instead of using the local integration. I showed her how to switch. She scrolled through the options slowly, squinting at the features. "Why do you need a whole separate app? Uber works everywhere. I used it in Des Moines last month." I explained Careem offered features specific to the region, including women-only drivers, family ride options, and integrated payment with local banks. She tapped her phone against her palm. "In America, we keep things simple. One app, one company, universal coverage. You guys are overcomplicating transportation." My sister coordinates a trade office in Oman, where an American delegation arrived last month for renewable energy discussions. The meeting started at 9. By 9:40, the Americans were glancing at their watches and exchanging looks. The Omani minister arrived at 9:50 with tea service and warm greetings. One of the Americans checked his phone ostentatiously. "We've got a tight schedule," he said. "Maybe we should jump right in?" The minister smiled and asked about their flight, their hotel, their impressions of Muscat. 10 minutes of pleasantries followed. The American shifted in his seat. Finally, he interrupted. "We really appreciate the hospitality, but we've only got this room until 11. In American business culture, we value efficiency. Time is money. We like to tackle the agenda point by point, wrap things up, and move forward. It's how we built the world's largest economy." My sister watched the Omani minister's expression freeze into polite blankness. The meeting continued for another 2 hours. The Americans never got their quick agenda. I teach at a university in Abu Dhabi where an American professor joined our engineering department last semester. First day, he walked into a collaborative workspace where students were clustered around shared monitors, talking over each other's ideas, moving between groups freely. He stood in the doorway frowning. After class, he found me in the hallway. Do your students not understand independent work? In America, we teach personal responsibility. Individual assignments, individual grades. That's how you build character and measure actual competence. I noticed your students basically copying each other's solutions. I explained our program emphasized collaborative problem solving because modern engineering. REQUI, RED, cross-functional teams. He pulled out his phone and showed me an article about American STEM education. MIT, Stanford, Caltech, the best engineering schools on earth, and they all prioritize individual excellence first. You're setting these kids up for failure by letting them work in groups all day. He submitted a formal recommendation to restructure the entire curriculum around American pedagogical models. My cousin works at Qatar's Hamad International Airport, where an American family arrived last week during their layover. The father marched up to the information desk. We've been walking for 15 minutes and haven't seen a single food court. Where's the Cinnabon? Where's the McDonald's? My cousin gestured toward the airport's multiple restaurant districts, which included Michelin-recognized dining and regional cuisine pavilions. The father scrolled through his phone. I'm not seeing any familiar chains. We need something the kids will actually eat. In American airports, you've got everything. Starbucks every 50 feet, Shake Shack, Panda Express. That's customer service. That's understanding what travelers want. My cousin mentioned the airport's 96 dining options spanning 40 cuisines. The father looked skeptical. 96 options sounds like paralysis by analysis. Americans figured out the optimal number is about 12 solid chains you can find anywhere. Consistency builds trust. You know exactly what you're getting. I manage a cafe in Amman where an American couple sat down last month and immediately started waving at me. I brought menus. They barely glanced at them. Just coffee, the woman said. Black, no sugar, and make it quick. We've got a tour in 30 minutes. I brought their coffee in traditional ceramic cups with a small plate of dates. The man picked up a date, examined it, put it back. We didn't order food. Are you charging us for this? I explained the dates were complimentary, part of Jordanian hospitality. The woman checked her watch. That's sweet, but we're really in a hurry. In America, servers understand urgency. You order, you get your stuff, you leave. Efficiency. That's why American restaurants have the highest table turnover rates in the developed world. We don't waste time with unnecessary extras. They left exact change on the table and rushed out. I cleared 2 untouched dates. My brother works at a traditional restaurant in Beirut where an American food blogger arrived last week with a camera and a lengthy list of requirements. She needed dairy-free options, gluten-free alternatives, and detailed ingredient sourcing for every dish. Our chef came out personally to explain the menu, which featured recipes passed down for 6 generations. She interrupted him. Do you have the nutritional information? Calories, macros, allergen warnings? In America, restaurants are required to provide full transparency. I've got 300,000 followers who expect detailed breakdowns. How am I supposed to post about food when I don't know exactly what's in it? The chef offered to walk her through each ingredient individually. She waved him off. That's going to take forever. Can you just email me a spreadsheet? American restaurants have this figured out. Everything's labeled. Everything's quantified. You can make informed choices. She left after taking 17 photos and ordering nothing. I work at a spice market in Dubai, where an American tourist stopped at my brother's stall last Tuesday. He sold traditional spice blends packaged in decorative containers. The tourist picked up a container of za'atar. How much? My brother told him. 30 dirhams. The tourist laughed. I'll give you 15. My brother smiled politely and explained the price was fixed. The tourist leaned against the stall. Come on, man. I've been to markets in Mexico, Thailand, Morocco. Haggling's part of the experience. You start high, I start low, we meet in the middle. That's how commerce works. My brother explained that Dubai's retail sector operated on fixed pricing with regulated standards. The tourist shook his head slowly. In America, we respect the free market. Prices should be flexible based on supply and demand. That's basic economics. Adam Smith wrote about this in 1776. You're leaving money on the table by refusing to negotiate. Walked away muttering about missed opportunities. I coordinate events at a resort in Sharm el-Sheikh, where an American family checked in last month with specific dining requests. They wanted breakfast at 6, lunch at 11:30, dinner at 5:15. We eat early in America, the father explained. Gets the metabolism going. By 6 p.m., your body's winding down. Eating late is basically asking for indigestion and poor sleep. I explained our restaurant operated on a different schedule aligned with local customs and guest preferences. With dinner service starting at 7, he pulled up a study on his phone. Harvard research. Americans who eat dinner before 6 live longer. We've optimized our eating schedules based on circadian science. The Middle East probably hasn't caught up yet, still eating at weird hours because of tradition. But science doesn't care about tradition. He requested room service for every meal and left a detailed review about inflexible dining. Times I drive a tour bus in Abu Dhabi where an American couple booked a city tour last week. 10 minutes into the drive, the husband leaned forward. How far is downtown? I told him we were already passing through it. He looked out the window at the Sheikh Zayed Grand Mosque, the Louvre Abu Dhabi, the Etihad Towers. This is downtown? Where are the skyscrapers? Where's the grid system? I explained Abu Dhabi's urban planning philosophy prioritized cultural landmarks, green spaces, and sustainable design over vertical density. He pulled out his phone. In American cities, downtown means business districts with 40-story buildings, tight streets, congestion. That's economic activity. That's how you measure a real city. Look at Manhattan, Chicago, LA. You can't even see the sky. That's prosperity. He took a photo of the mosque's courtyard. This looks more like a suburb. My sister works at Bahrain International Circuit, where an American racing enthusiast visited last month during an event. He kept asking where the real track was. I explained he was standing at the Formula One circuit that had hosted the Bahrain Grand Prix since 2004. He walked around the facility frowning. The layout's weird. It doesn't feel like Daytona or Indianapolis. Those are legendary tracks. Banking turns, high speeds, American engineering. I showed him the track's FIA Grade 1 certification and its reputation for technical challenges. He squinted at the map. In America, we build tracks that test raw speed and courage. Oval circuits, minimal complexity. That's real racing. This looks like a video game course with all these chicanes and hairpins. Formula One probably uses these gimmicky layouts because European cars can't handle proper American style racing. I work at a telecommunications company in Cairo where an American expat called last week about his internet service. Your speeds are wrong, he said. I'm getting 400 megabits per second. I'm paying for 200. I explained Egypt's infrastructure improvements had upgraded his area's capacity at no additional cost. He paused. That doesn't make sense. In America, you get exactly what you pay for. If you want faster internet, you upgrade your plan and pay more. That's how capitalism works. Are you telling me Egypt just gives people better service for free? What's the catch? I assured him there was no catch. He insisted on speaking to a manager, convinced he was being set up for hidden charges. Nothing's free. Americans learned that lesson 200 years ago. There's always a catch. I manage a metro station in Doha, where an American businessman tried to board last Tuesday without a Haya card. He held up his credit card. Just tap this. In New York, you tap your card and go. Simple, universal, no special registration needed. I explained Qatar's metro required a registered travel card or mobile app for contactless payment. He stared at his credit card. This works on every subway system in America. We invented contactless payment cards. You're telling me Qatar's system is incompatible with American technology? I walked him to the ticket kiosk to register. He followed reluctantly. In America, we design systems for maximum accessibility. Anyone can use them immediately. You're creating unnecessary barriers with this registration requirement. It's basically anti-tourism. My friend works at a tech incubator in Riyadh where an American venture capitalist visited last month, scouting for investment opportunities. He walked through the facility looking at various startups working on AI-powered solutions, renewable energy platforms, and fintech innovations. After 2 hours, he pulled my friend aside. "This is impressive," he admitted. "I wasn't expecting this level of sophistication. Back home, we've been talking about the Middle East like it's 10 years behind. But some of this tech is ahead of what I'm seeing in Silicon Valley." My friend smiled. He'd heard this reaction before. The investor kept talking. "I mean, we've still got the best universities, the most venture capital, the strongest tech ecosystem overall. But maybe there's a partnership opportunity here. If you guys keep developing like this, in 5 or 10 years, you might be competitive with American innovation hubs." My friend thanked him and returned to his work. The investor left that afternoon with a folder full of pitch decks and a slightly adjusted worldview. He'd probably tell the story at networking events as proof of his global perspective, framing it as his discovery rather than his correction.